I'm Tim.
And I'm Ray. This is Grayscale Podcast, where it's not always black and white.
It's not.
What it do? Hey!
In fact, it's so not black and white that we completely changed everything up tonight.
It's a flip up, man. What y'all think about the setup right here?
We got this one camera setup situation going on.
Side by side, shoulder bumping.
Yeah, we keep our hands in the camera so people don't think anything fishy going on.
Hey, watch yourself. Hey,
we're going to do our shares and stuff
real quick. But man, I'm digging the new setup already.
It's cool.
We will continue to improve upon it. We got some stuff that we're going to hang up behind here.
As the Hodge twins would say.
Yeah. But I like it, man. I'm digging it. Let me make sure my sound is down as I get this watch party going. It's a beautiful thing, man. Tim, I'm loving what you're doing with the shop over here, bro. We need to you go live in the morning and stuff like that, kind of.
Yeah, sometimes I do business stuff from here.
Get a people a full tour of what you got going on. I came in, you had the AC bumping up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you got AC up in this joint? Like, we could be comfortable. Like, oh, we got
no, man.
Microphone up in here now. It's studio time.
we don't like comfort.
Who don't like
comfort? I'm just kidding. Why can I not see the video? Oh, there it is. Okay.
It don't. There we go again. It won't let me share. It won't let me share live.
It's because you got to do this. You got to find it on the actual.
I got you. Start. Okay, watch party started. I'm off the phone. I'm watching. Actually, I ain't got to watch. I can see myself up top.
You can. But we can't see a chat. If you want to see chat, you'll have to use your phone.
I gotta be on here.
Yeah.
Okay. We on here. I'm gonna leave that up there if I can. We're gonna scoot you back. Boom. We plugged in. If I want to tap into the chat.
So this is episode 2 of season 2.
Yes, sir.
Of the Grayscale Podcast.
The Grayscale. Hey man, I'm having a grand old time. I'm trying to tell you. But right now I'm having a hard time with this new setup.
You want to
let me get that speaker up.
Right there, yeah.
You know, at the Hizzy, I'm able to find a whole lot of things.
There's all kinds of stuff.
All types of stuff. Lean stuff on. You know, I gotta watch my lean back. Tim got me a chair, but
I'm in the broken chair.
Lean back gonna have me on the floor. You know I'm a shorty now.
So yeah, maybe I should scoot back some to keep.
No, we good. See, I'm repping for my boys with the Meet the Grinders tonight, man.
Meet the Grinders. That's cool.
Bills. But it be anyway. Free promo.
That's right. Yeah, that will charge. You got to pay for the next one. What's up, man? How was your week? It's been a whole week since we did a show.
Wizzy. Week's been good, man. It's just one of those regular old weeks, man. Looking forward to the upcoming Halloween festivities. Real excited to get in the outfits. You know, we're gonna be the Incredibles this year.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So just been doing a lot of planning and trying to, hopefully maybe get a babysitter, man. To hit a Halloween
try to go
party.
to Louis?
Gonna try to hit Louis for the Halloween party. Shout out to the homie DJ Mike. But yeah, trying to get some adults.
That's right.
Trying
to
get some adults. So if you're out there, you got kids, let's get them babysitters.
You should just get one person who has a 16-year-old kid to just watch all the kids.
Yeah, make some money. You can get paid. Halloween not till Saturday. You can make you a whole lot of money on Friday night. Now you got money to go out and blow on Saturday.
That's true. So, that's a good plan.
You know what I'm saying? So
shoot, I might do it.
Man, come on down.
Bring them all to my house. They can play in the pool or whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Tim, I'm trying to tell you. Babysitting is very lucrative.
Yeah.
But yeah, so looking forward to that, man, and then taking the kids out Saturday. We haven't decided on our Saturday yet, whether we're gonna do the Zoo Boo or take it down to St. Andrews.
Do they do that at what's the name of that zoo out there? If I wouldn't have asked you,
I probably could have. I just call it the zoo. Man.
Just call it the zoo.
Yeah, I was actually just reading a story about that zoo.
Yeah.
I just came across it on Google, and it was talking about this guy from Panama City who kind of started the first roller coaster park, mini park down there. I think his last name was Barker or something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but they were talking about that, and they were talking about how I believe it was that zoo that used to have a volcano in it. Like it was crazy. It was like the big attraction that kind of brought the zoo back to life
I hear you.
and kind of saved it from going under. So it was a pretty interesting story about an entrepreneur from Panama City.
Yeah, there was a guy. I think he was like an attraction designer.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking.
This is like
I've
in
read
the
stuff
60s or
about
whatever,
it.
and people were like, roller coasters are dead. They
Yeah.
reach their height.
And he designed a lot of
Yeah.
the attractions at the old Miracle Strip.
Yes,
Park.
yes. The Starline
I had read about
was
it before. Yeah.
the first the roller coaster, his headline roller coaster.
I rode that a
he
bunch of
had.
times.
Starline.
Bunch of
Did you?
times. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Miracle Strip was the jam when I was a kid.
That's
dude.
what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's all we did, man. Like when I was a kid, like a little kid, we would always go there for like, so when you go to like the summer program at school or whatever, like
Yeah.
they would always be like, that would be one of the field trips for the summer. We go to Miracle Strip, and then like we'd always go to at least sometime during the summer we'd go to Shipwreck Island during the day, and then go to Miracle Strip at night.
Right.
We'd just do them both, right?
Shipwreck Island was his last.
Yeah, he did that too.
Yeah, it was his.
And then when I became like a teenager, that was like the cool thing to go do on the weekend. It was like go hang out at the amusement park and then like ride around the Panama City Strip, Like, that's what you did.
What else was that?
Yeah, I mean,
go to the beach, go to the
that's what it is. But yeah, I spent a lot of time at Miracle Strip when I was a kid. I was actually kind of sad to see them like tear that down. Because it was cool. It was a lot of fun back in the day.
Yeah.
It was never like an amazing amusement park, but it was something fun to do around town.
Definitely.
For sure.
I can see that for sure. They need to do some upgrades to the Ray City down there. I mean, it's nice and all, but some of that stuff is kind of getting rusted. We took the kids out there a couple weeks ago that we talked about on the show. Hurricane Michael came through, did some damage Saturday.
And they haven't really gotten able to fix it.
You got to kind of get some of this stuff touched up. When you can, though, I mean, business is business. But other than that, I mean, the week's been pretty normal, man. Pretty steady. I'm still going out, taking my hacks with the golf clubs.
Yeah,
I was actually supposed to go golfing tomorrow. Brandon, if you're listening, watching, I took a cat nap on the way here. Your boy been up since 3:30.
Yeah, you were up early this morning,
I had
man.
to do my 5 miles.
I woke up this morning, like just for whatever reason, and I like looked at my phone, and like you had just posted a video or something on Snapchat or something, and I was like, dude, Ray is up running at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I am not that good. I'm not doing it.
Hey.
Not gonna happen.
I don't recommend it for you women either. Say, my wife tried to get up in the morning and go run. There's a lot of tweakers on the streets.
I bet.
At 3 in the morning. Like, you'd be surprised, man. Even down here in little old Panama City Beach, I run into a lot of tweakers. Some homeless folks out there, but it's a lot of random people walking around.
We got homeless folks here in town.
In
Freeport, we got a pretty big homeless group,
That's everywhere, man. You go to Atlanta, get off the expressway in Atlanta, Chicago, LA. It's crazy out here how many people are homeless. And, speaking of the homelessness, coming up on this election and dealing with stuff like that, I mean, America, we got to do a little better. But,
America.
All people end up in those situations for different reasons. If you stop and talk to 10 of them, you'll get 10 different answers. So
yeah, for sure. And, there's always that, like, and I don't mean to be, like, ridiculous or anything, but, like, even if you got there under bad circumstances, like, you can still do something to get yourself, to at least attempt to get yourself out of that position. But most people mentally, it puts them in such a bad place that they just shut down.
Right.
And
you just shut down. You just like F it. And I mean, getting out of it, I just, before leaving the house to come over here, they had a story on ABC. Not 60 Minutes, that's CBS, but the nightly ABC thing that comes on at 6 after the news at 6:30. But homeless kid, he's walking across the country. I don't know, he walked like 550 miles or whatever. But anyway, he was working these odd jobs. He was homeless, working odd jobs. Made money to get his stuff. finished school, finished high school, went to a junior college, all this while living out of his car.
Yeah.
And then ended up getting a full ride scholarship to Boston College.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
So I'm like, speaking of what you just said, you know what I'm saying? You can work your way out of these type of situations. But again, it's usually the drug issue. And if it wasn't a drug issue that got them there, then definitely probably on drugs now that they're there.
Right.
Just
because of the culture,
you know, and just because of the culture. And
my sister lived out of her van for quite a while.
Yeah.
By choice. So she could have been essentially she was considered a homeless person,
right,
at that point.
Right.
But it was her choice. Like she actually like kind of screwed the system a little bit. So like she had a Planet Fitness membership, and so there's Planet Fitness in every town, pretty much, right? And your Planet Fitness membership works at all Planet Fitnesses.
Oh yeah.
And so and they're all like 24-hour gyms with shower facilities and everything.
Yeah.
So she like just
that was big during hurricanes.
Yeah, she paid like $15 or $20 a month or whatever it was for a Planet Fitness membership. Lived out of her van, and she could just go shower like wherever she wanted because you know what I mean. Like she always had a shower essentially. Right. So like she wasn't like a smelly homeless person.
Right.
But she took the time to like
Yeah, and there's like you said, there's variances of homelessness. Like people, you can be sleeping at somebody's house or staying with friends here and there.
Yeah, I did that.
But you're still considered homeless because
right.
You don't have a stationary home to
right.
call your own, where you're paying rent, you're doing this.
Before I moved into the house that I live in now, I technically was homeless.
Right.
Like, I didn't have my own place to live.
It's not like Tim's broke. Tim ain't got a car. Tim
right.
can't
I had
get
a job.
Tim ain't got a job.
I had all of that,
right.
but I didn't have like a place to live.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. You know, it's crazy. You know, I was talking to my wife the other day, and it's like, man, in all of my years of living, like I've never lived by myself.
Really?
Yeah. Like think about that. Like
you've always had
from college to hell, even being in juvie, I had a cellmate. You know, but like I've never lived by myself.
I only did for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Obviously grew up living with my family.
Right.
And then when my dad passed away, I lived in the house that we grew up in. My sister was still younger, so she lived with my mom and my aunt. My two stepbrothers moved with their mom back to Ohio, and I lived in the house that we grew up in, but with friends. Like I was like, I have this house, like we can just all live here, you know?
Yeah.
So we did that, and then I sold that house, and I lived in a condo in Destin that I bought, and I lived there with my sister. She lived with me for the most part the whole time that I was there. And then I moved to Orlando. I lived by myself. But when I moved back here, I always had a roommate, except for like a couple months that I lived by myself. Yeah, so I pretty much always lived with somebody.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know how many people, I'm sure in this day and age, and most people, a lot of people probably have had that experience. Hey man, it's expensive to live out here.
It is.
I mean, not out here, but just in the world. I mean, like
just in general,
it's really expensive to.
My friend was just telling me that him and his new wife were looking at getting an apartment, and these new apartments here in Freeport, in Hammock Bay, are like $1,500 a month for a one bedroom.
Right. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Very insane.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Reaching over. But anyway.
I'm trying to do some liking.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little. Oh, not
the van was probably at some point down by the river, Stevie. Yes, at some point it probably was.
But
if I had to guess.
But anyway, we got off on that little tangent
that was
real
crazy.
quick. How was your week?
We're like halfway through the show. Like, hey, Tim's here too, by the way. I went to the gym. Max is watching for the first time in like a long time. I just saw Max log on. What's up, Maxwell?
What's up, Max? Happy belated birthday again to you.
Yeah, for sure. I went to the gym a few times. I worked. I noticed that you pulled a Tim this week and didn't do Revelations with Ray.
I didn't. You know, oh man, you didn't catch me. I'll let you finish. But
You
go
pulled
ahead.
a Tim.
I got a couple phone calls after the debate.
I was very adamant about getting all of our videos up and our podcast episodes up. So I did all that. It was like
awesome work.
That was
very
part of my week.
For you.
Hey, I did a little bit of designing on some stuff that we're talking about doing in the future.
Yeah.
So
some really cool stuff.
I'm
really excited about the comic strip.
Oh, I think we're just gonna tell them.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, we're gonna go for it.
I'm a blabbermouth. I just can't.
No, it's a cool idea. That's all we're gonna give you though. Comic strip.
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna tell you. Yeah. You just write that down. Dad life. Heck yeah, man. Dad life is cool, huh, Max? I haven't been a dad in a long time.
Oh, nice. Wait.
I was like essentially a stepdad for a while to like a little girl. So yeah. So like it wasn't a real dad, but
yeah.
You know,
I mean, daddy figures are daddy figures.
So
definitely.
But yeah, man. Other than that, just work. Today I had to deliver my orders for the week because you know, that's how I do things.
Yeah.
I print everything and then I deliver it all on Friday for the people that can't get to the shop to pick it up.
Yeah.
So I had to go all the way to Panama City Beach and then all the way to Destin. So I was in the car for like
all day.
It was ridiculous. I left here at like noon and drove straight to Panama City Beach and then like straight to Destin and then I grabbed something to eat and came across the Mid-Bay Bridge back to Freeport. And I didn't get back to Freeport until like almost 4.
Oh, wowzers.
Yeah, so I was on the road for like 4 hours this afternoon. Just
man, I wonder what time you're PCB. I wonder, have you ever there's a gas station down there on Thomas Drive.
I didn't go that far.
Okay, I was about to say they sell Cuban sandwiches.
You've told me about this place before, I think.
Man.
And then what's the Mexican place that I have to go try? Authentica or whatever.
Oh yeah, Authentica. Yeah. My boy Rich. I always
want to go there when I'm out that way.
Yeah, they got that wet burrito.
Killing you.
Smoking. Now you might pay for it later.
Something actually really interesting. Yeah, something actually really interesting happened today. So on my way back from Panama City Beach, I stopped at that Dunkin' Donuts right there where Front Beach and 98 meet on the west end across from Publix. I don't know if you're familiar.
What, Front Beach and 98 meet?
Yeah, on the west end, like on the Walton County end.
Yeah.
Right? There's Publix, and then there's the gas station stuff across the street, kind of, right? There's a Dunkin' Donuts right there.
Oh, yeah. You talking about down there by Carolina.
Yeah, down by Carolina. Yeah. So I stopped at the, it'll go back. I deal with this the whole time we're on the show. Now you get to deal with it too.
Awesome. I still see that.
Yes, it's back. Oh, no, it'll go back. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
If it doesn't, we're screwed.
We're good.
Yeah, see, told you. You guys can't see what we were talking about, but there were things happening on the screen, on the computer screen. So when I'm sitting in the drive-thru at the Dunkin' Donuts, I was getting a coffee. I'm sitting in the drive-thru waiting on them to hand me my coffee, and there's all these stickers of like local businesses and stuff just plastered on the outside of the drive-thru window, like around it, you know, and obviously not on the glass.
Yeah.
But like, so I was like, oh, I think I've got some stickers for Fresh Prince, right? So I reach in and I grab one out of the glove box and I stick it on there when I'm leaving. And then like when I get home, so a few hours later, I get a snap or a Facebook message from my little brother who lives in Panama City Beach. And he goes, have you been to Dunkin' Donuts lately? And he sends me a picture. His girlfriend had gone to get a coffee.
Yeah.
And took a picture of the sticker, and I was like, I literally just put that there, and like people are already noticing it, so that's cool.
Advertisement at its finest.
It was pretty funny.
Talk about a return on advertisement.
Yeah, exactly. Like I literally put it up an hour and a half ago or whatever, and like people are already talking about it.
So speaking of stickers, I'm gonna rehash this story. So back in the day when I was working on the beach, and we had like just bought our Volkswagen Jetta, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I was working on the beach down there for Ryan doing Kids Beach, and Stevie worked in the for Watercolor at the Towel Hut. And she goes to pick up something from the car in the parking lot, and she texts me like, did you put stickers all over the car? And I'm like, what? And she like, did you put stickers on the front of the car? And I'm like, I didn't put stickers on anything. She's like, well, I took them off. And I'm like, you took what off? I took the stickers off the car. Said Stevie, you just,
I didn't put stickers on.
I'm like, you just vandalized somebody's car. Like, she's like, wait, what are you talking about? I didn't sticker anything.
That's not
like,
our car.
Yeah, that's not our car. It's a Volkswagen Jetta, but it's not our car. Like, she literally took the stickers off somebody else's car.
And you just told her.
Yeah.
On national television.
I'm like, you lucky they ain't catch your ass. Like, you just vandalized these people's car. They had some nice 38 stickers. And
That's actually funny.
yeah, it was pretty funny at the time. I mean, it's a lot funnier now than it was then. Because I'm like, are you accusing me of putting stickers on the car? Like, what the hell am I going to stick in the car up for?
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
I don't like putting stickers on my car.
No. So,
I've never been a fan of putting stickers on my car.
Look at her. Damn,
I say
sure
never.
did.
When I was a kid, like when I was a teenager, we put like skateboard company stickers on everything.
Oh, yeah.
So like I did, and band stickers on everything.
And I mean,
So-
you know, sometimes they're cool. I mean,
Yeah, but I can't do
a lot
it.
of people want to ride around with
I
their-
can't even put I won't even put a sticker for my business on my truck.
No.
It's just not like.
You can use it as a business vehicle and get a tax write.
Well, I know, but it's technically a business vehicle anyway
Anyway,
because I use it for deliveries.
Yeah.
So it's technically, it all works out.
I'm starting to see like a lot of Mickey Mouse World Disney stickers on people's cars.
Yeah.
They really, you know.
People do
Get
that.
up
They're
about
big.
one
Yeah, they
sticker.
do. They like to.
see Mickey.
They like to let you know that they're an annual pass holder.
Yeah. Oh,
they
yeah.
got-
They don't hold back on stunting
Yeah.
about that annual
they're
pass.
like, we got an annual
I
pass.
got the stick.
We might not have the annual pass, but we
Yeah.
got a sticker for
Yeah,
sure.
you go, but I got the stick.
Yeah, that's interesting. And the Universal ones are the same. I got a Universal sticker when I was an annual pass holder at Universal, but it's like magnetized to the refrigerator at the house. Like I never put it on anything.
Yeah.
I just don't put stickers on stuff for whatever reason.
It's a lot of
it is
work.
what it is.
You gotta take it off.
And then if you get like a blue sticker on one side and a red sticker on the other side and like a green sticker, it's like now it just looks weird because it's like all these different colors.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
So anyway,
Let's talk about politics or something. This
let's
is
talk
boring.
about politics. I did want to talk about. I don't know if we didn't post it up. But today we did want to get into kind of our main topic.
Bum, bum, bum.
Celebrity entertainers' influence on people's decisions when it comes down to voting. I don't know if
I think it's an interesting topic.
Yeah, I don't know if people recall back when Obama ran the first year and the hip hop community did a real huge vote or die campaign.
Yeah.
Which is pretty extreme. You know what I'm saying? Vote or die.
That's pretty extreme.
That's pretty extreme.
Like, does that mean you're gonna kill
me? Yeah.
Or is it just like that's the other alternative?
Yeah.
By default, or like what's the deal here?
So that was a pretty extreme campaign, and you know, just in general, when especially when it comes to these news platforms telling people how they should or should not use their platform. On one end, it's okay to use your platform to encourage voting for one party or another. On another hand, it's not okay to use your platform to exact change in the community, whether it's social justice change, things like that. Not saying that it's not right, but just the rhetoric that's used in terms of what you should use your platform for.
Right.
So here's my thing. I'm not saying that entertainers, athletes, actors, all grouping all entertainers here, rock and roll, hip hop, all of it, shouldn't voice their opinion about whether people should vote or not. I do feel some type of way about people them using their influence, especially in the way that, you know, entertainers are catered to Americans as like they're like heroes. You know what I'm saying? Superstars, heroes, like using that influence that they have over people. These are powerful people.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of, and I don't mean like power in the sense of,
right, not like superheroes, but
you know, but power in the sense of charisma.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying?
Right. They got to where they are because they have some sort of influence.
Yes, they have a God-given charisma about themselves.
Agreed.
You know, so to take that and to use it to try to influence your followers to vote a certain way, even if that vote doesn't benefit them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you're convincing them to do something that will benefit you as the influencer, but doesn't benefit them as a whole.
Right.
In the situation that they're in.
Right.
You know, so it's really interesting to me.
So you think they should encourage people to vote?
Yes.
But not give them any
indication.
Like not talk about like this is why I'm voting for so and so,
right?
Or why I think you should vote for so and so,
right? So we'll read the comments.
I don't disagree with that, Grant. Actually,
what do you say? If entertainers shouldn't use their platform to advocate for a politician, billionaires shouldn't use their money. Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, I'm not opposed.
You know what I'm saying? I think
yeah.
people always say we need to take money out of politics.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? It needs to come out.
I think that if you have, here's the deal. Entertain athletes. I made a post. I made this post on my Facebook not too long ago. Athletes are people too.
Right.
Right. So I'll speak on athletes specifically. People want to say things like athletes shouldn't talk about politics. Athletes, keep politics out of sports.
Right.
Blah 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 blah. All this sort of stuff. And to an extent, I agree. You want to know why? I don't think there should be any sort of anything patriotic happening during a sporting event. I think a sporting event should be about sports.
Right.
And that's it. These guys should show up, they should play football, and they should be done.
Right. It's entertainment.
Yeah. We don't have to do
national
anthem. We don't have to do all that stuff first. We can just play football and go home. But if we're going to get rid of any of it, get rid of all of it, essentially, is my point. But they're people too. LeBron James is a person too.
Yeah.
And LeBron James has an opinion.
Right.
The difference between you and me and LeBron James is that LeBron James gets to voice his opinion in front of everybody.
Yes. That
doesn't mean that everyone has to follow his opinion.
No.
That just means that everyone gets to hear his opinion.
Right.
And because he's put himself in that position, I think if someone asks, I don't know that he should just go out of his way, but if he's doing an interview and someone asks him a question, he should answer it.
Right.
And it should be okay.
Yeah, and I think it is okay, but I think as a person of influence and having that platform, I think it's also a responsibility to say, this is how I feel, but you should
make your own decision.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And not to, like I'm hearing some of these campaigns where it's kind of getting slick now because I think people have caught on to, and more so on the Democratic side, have caught on to the Democrats using entertainers to voice their opinions on who people should vote for. So now you're starting to hear these campaigns where they're saying go vote, and then it's Joe Biden approved this message.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of an underhanded way of okay, but at the same time, here's my thing: like people need to be more independently thinking in the terms of the way they're casting their vote and not just blindly dedicated to parties.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like you're just, no matter who the party puts up in front of you, this who I'm rocking with because this is who our party decided to go with.
That doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense. Like if I don't like this asshole, then
I'm not gonna vote for him.
The party screwed up. You gave us somebody we didn't like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and not to mention, here's the thing about, especially the Democratic Party in this particular voting season, right? And I'm not being a Democrat hater or anything.
No.
I'm just speaking factual. 100% of the Democratic Party didn't vote for Joe Biden in the Democratic primaries. So you didn't like him then. But now all of a sudden you do because he's the one that got elected. You didn't vote for him, but now you're going to vote for him. So you didn't like his policies, or you would have voted for him before.
Right.
But now, because there's a fly or something here, it almost got in my mouth.
Ooh.
Ah, it's in my face. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, basically what you're saying is vote blue no matter who.
Yeah.
So, because
which is a terrible way to run.
If 51% of the Democratic Party voted for Biden, then that means 49% of them voted for other people.
Right.
I don't know what the actual percentage is, but it's definitely not 100% voted for Biden. So, those other 49% of the people didn't agree
what the hell
with
Biden
before, or they would have voted for him. But now all of a sudden they agree with him.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
And, you know, I equated, you know, our whole two-party system because my buddy called me after the debate, and I equated it to a starting quarterback that was drafted high. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about both parties here.
Right.
Starting quarterback that was drafted high, you know, comes in, he does all right, then he starts sucking up the joint. But you feel like you can't sit him down because you done gave him all this money. You done made him a top overall pick, but then you bring in some competition. And it's all right, if you don't tighten up, Fitzpatrick back here about to take your damn job.
Fitzpatrick got benched. I think it's all.
Well,
we're going to talk about football.
We're talking about, but you understand what I'm saying though. Like you have somebody that feels like they're entitled to this position because of this, or this.
Correct.
But now you bring in somebody on the back end, and it's like, okay, if you don't tighten up, our vote's going over here. You know what I'm saying? But when you feel like you got people by the balls and they gonna vote for you no matter what you do or who you throw in front of them, then what the hell?
That's exactly
what the hell incentive do you have to change?
That's exactly how people feel right now.
You know, we got people out here that's that hard for us either way it goes. So why should we stop lying to them during the primaries and then do whatever the hell we want to do when we get in office? Because they gonna keep voting
for us anyway.
They don't think anything else can happen. Okay. They don't think anything else can change. So they're just gonna keep voting for us.
That's interesting.
No matter what. And it's like, put your ass on a hot seat.
Yeah.
And let them know, hey, asshole, I voted for you last time, but this time I ain't voting for you.
Yeah.
And here's why.
I know people that voted for Obama first term, but didn't
the second term.
Obama second term.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there are going to be people that voted for Trump first term
and aren't
going
for
to vote for Trump
time.
second time.
It's like you're saying all this,
and those people are sane.
Exactly.
They're not as
people
crazy.
Are very sane.
They're smart.
Understanding that, hey, we tried to do something different, and you didn't do all the shit that you was talking about doing. So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And it seems like Joe been fooling motherfuckers for 47 years.
Right, almost 50 years. Yeah.
You know, like
he's been fooling us for a while, or somebody. I think it's interesting, and this doesn't have anything to do with celebrities or whatever, but dadgummit, I lost my train of thought. We'll come back to that when I think of it again.
Yeah, but
because you kept talking that one.
I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't you. I tried to interrupt you, and it didn't work.
Yeah, no.
And so then I forgot what I was going to
do. But, you know, and just, you know, with the celebrities coming out and doing what they do, I mean, it's just, to me, it breeds into that culture of people that are uneducated about what's going on and don't take any time to look into anything, you know, even just to take a quick one-look pager on somebody's candidate and, you know, see what questions they answer and what they stand for on certain topics.
Yeah.
They're just listening to their favorite celebrity.
Correct.
And people know this. I mean, the game is played the way the game is played.
Well, some people don't want to put in the time.
Yeah, I think
they would rather just see what Beyonce is going to do.
Yeah.
And follow suit.
And it's on both sides. People say
that's true.
There's a bunch
people
of
vote.
There's a bunch
whoever
of
Ted Nugent's going to vote.
They're like there's a bunch of ignorant voters that came out and voted. Now, when we say ignorant, we're not saying stupid.
Uninformed.
Uninformed is a better word. And they say that came out and voted for Trump, but I'm like, how y'all think Obama won?
Yeah.
You know, 9 times out of 10, as the saying goes for most people, like, you know, white America is usually split close down the middle on who they voting for, Democratic or Republican.
But Black America voted for Obama because he was black.
Because he was black. And
at least the first time.
There were people that never voted in their life that you can technically say are ignorant,
right,
uninformed,
have never paid any attention to
never
the system
paid
at all.
any attention to the system that came out and voted. But when the same people came out and did it for Trump,
right, the same thing happens.
Stupid, ignorant rednecks, and it's like, no, you gonna call it stupid, ignorant ghetto people?
Right.
It's
I remember what I was going
thing.
to say. I think it's interesting that people still believe that the president can do all the things that he tells you he's going to do.
It's nonsense.
It's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
The president,
living the dream.
The president can't
Living
do.
the dream.
All right, PSA. The president can't do all the things that they're telling you he's going to change. All the things that Biden says he's going to change and all the things that Trump says he's going to do, they don't have power to do all of those things.
No.
It's impossible. It's ridiculous.
Impossible.
If you took half a civics class in school or whatever, like, you would know that.
Which is,
But you could have dropped out of high school and still know this information.
Yeah.
But people just don't pay attention.
and it's another reason, like, people in these Senate seats and things like that should not be serving life terms, man.
Agreed. There needs to be term limits for sure.
When you feel like you can, you're going to be in politics.
It shouldn't be a career. It should be a public service.
Exactly. When you feel like, you're trying to stay in this career field for as long as you can, you're going to do some underhanded things.
Now, politics can be a career.
Yeah.
If you go through the political ladder. If
Right.
you start out on the city council,
Right.
right? And then you do a couple of terms on city council, and
Right.
you become a county commissioner, and then you run for governor and you
Right.
don't win, so you run again and you do win, and you do some, a couple of terms as the governor of your state, and then
Right.
like that kind of thing. It could be a career in that regard,
Right.
but to be in the same spot for 50 years
It's ridiculous.
that doesn't seem
It's,
correct.
it's like, move around, please.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw
Like,
something that said something about how the Biden is like 74 years old and Trump is like 73 years old or whatever, but the average age of everyone in America is like 35.
Right.
And it's like, why are we still letting these, like, for lack of a better term, old ass people
Run the country.
make decisions for people for when the majority of the country,
I think.
when you can be 35 and run for president,
Right.
why are we electing 80-year-olds?
Right. I think it was the first Democratic primary, the Indiana. I think it was Boomer. What was his name? In that first primary, he was
I know
the
that
mayor of Indiana or something like that. I forget his name.
but I know that.
But he kept telling about Biden as pass the baton, man.
Andrew Yang or whatever. He's pretty young.
Yeah, but he said
obviously Ocasio-Cortez is pretty young.
Oh, that's the feat. Yeah,
The girl, she didn't run for president, but she's pretty young still.
She's only like 31.
She's
got
young,
a few
yeah.
years. Yeah.
They
They keep telling me, pass the baton, man.
Yeah.
I mean, go sit down somewhere. You
Right.
know?
But it's our fault.
It is our fault.
It's
man.
not their fault that they're 75. It's
Yeah.
our fault that we're voting them into office.
Yeah, like, go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You tell
Get
me
out
to
of
go
here.
sit at the off the
Yeah.
pasture somewhere. Like,
People that have been alive since, like we talked about before the show, people that have been in office since the civil rights movements were
Exactly.
happening should not still be making decisions about this country.
exactly.
Pete Buttigieg, yeah.
Yeah, Pete Buttigieg. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
He kept telling the man, pass the
Yeah.
baton, man.
It's time.
I mean, it's time. Like,
We need
sit
to
down.
vote somebody younger.
We need some energy up
into
in here.
the
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Male
some
or
young,
female, doesn't matter.
male or female. We need some young energy up.
I'm
in
going to
here,
run for
man.
president.
And I totally agree with that. You know what I'm
2024.
saying? So, and somebody with some sense, you have to be
Is it?
diplomatic.
Should we do Haney Walker 2024 or Walker
Haney
Haney 2024?
I can't, they'll crush me if I run.
All right, well, we'll do Haney Walker. Haney Walker 2024. You heard it here first, man.
Maybe Dre Bay can get in when he gets a little bit older.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's crazy out here right now with this election. And I'm fired up because I'm gonna vote
'Cause
for
you're
the
gonna
first time.
Are you going to try to vote early? Because early voting starts in
It already started.
In Bay County, can you
Yeah,
vote? Yeah,
yeah.
we can't vote yet.
It already started. Well, because they were voting in Okaloosa.
Okaloosa started already.
So definitely by
Saturday we can start. I'm gonna probably vote Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead.
I might try to get in Saturday. We'll see.
But yeah, either
What's
way
up,
it
Kaylin
goes,
Smith?
definitely gonna get that vote in and what?
I was pointing at the camera. I was pointing at Kaylin Smith. She just is watching.
Oh, word.
Hashtag Trump 2020. She says.
So and that's cool. I mean, I'm for. Here's my thing about the vote. I'm for everybody voting the way they feel.
For who they agree with.
To who they agree with.
I agree.
Like, cast your vote according to what you feel is right within your soul. I thought the statement by the meme by Jorgensen was perfect. Like, let no one tell you that you're wasting your vote.
Right.
Because there's no such thing.
Selfish. Yeah.
If you cast your vote in a manner in which you feel, you have no decision over who wins anyway.
Here's the thing.
Trump didn't win the popular vote,
right? But
the Electoral College still vote.
Here's the thing about that whole "you're wasting your vote" thing. Here's what's funny to me. I say I'm going to vote for Jo Jorgensen, right? And Trump supporters jump in and say, "Oh, don't do that. You're wasting your vote." Thinking that if I don't vote for Jo Jorgensen, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
Well, that's not the case.
That's not the case.
Necessarily. Right? So, just because if I'm not going to vote for the candidate that I agree with the most, I'm just not going to vote at all.
Right.
That would be more of a waste.
Right.
So just because I'm not, you're saying, if I vote for my candidate, I'm wasting my vote. Well, what if I told you that instead of voting for my candidate, I'm going to vote for the one opposite the one you want?
Right.
How would you feel about that?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's what I'm going to start telling people.
Yeah.
When I say I'm going to vote for Jo Jorgensen, oh, no, that's a wasted vote. Well, then I'm going to vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And they'll be like,
why do you want to do that?
Right.
It's like, goddamn. So,
I mean, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden, but
you're trying to convince me to vote for your person.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
you're being selfish.
Yeah. Fuck my feelings. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want me to vote for your guy.
Donnie, you're ignorant. Doesn't matter what you think.
No, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's just like, there's no waste, man. When you're voting for the way you truly feel and what speaks to your heart, that's what the voting system is. That's what it's for. That's why there's more than two parties on that ballot.
I've always said
to give
that
you the option to participate and express yourself.
I've always said that the only wasted vote is if you vote for someone that you don't agree with.
Exactly. And
if you're voting party lines and not voting for the person that you agree with. If you agree with Donald Trump, then you should vote for Donald Trump.
You should vote.
If you agree with Joe Biden, then that's who you should vote for.
Right.
But if you're only voting for one of them because that's who your parents are voting for,
you're wasting your vote.
Yeah, if you don't have, if you haven't done the research, and this is another thing that bothers me. Why do people talk about, tell them about Mama Joe? That's right. Why do people talk about the bad things of candidate A instead of the good things of candidate B? Why is the go-to? But Donald Trump did this and Donald Trump did that. But what did Biden do?
Right.
What have you done for me lately, Joe?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People always want to talk about, well, Biden's a pedophile, and Biden's son this and Biden that.
It's the negative.
Well, tell me why you're voting for Trump, not why you're not voting for Joe.
Biden. Yeah, exactly.
I want to know why you're voting for this person. Exactly. I don't care why you're not voting for him.
Exactly.
Why are you voting for him?
Yeah. And facts, please.
And only facts.
Yeah, not these speculations of so and so is a pedophile. There's no facts.
You need to come on the show.
There's no facts that
you can sit right here.
Yeah.
We got another chair.
You see, we done changed up the scenery. There's no facts that Joe Biden is a pedophile. Right. I don't believe these reports. You have no burden of proof. That's not a reason that I'm not casting my vote for him.
Right.
As a Black American, there's reasons I'm not casting my vote for Joe Biden. Right. Yeah. So, but to each his own. But yeah, with facts, please, not speculation of so and so did this to this person and that person. The court of law hasn't said any of this is true.
Who built the cages, Joe? Did you hear Trump say that last night at the debate? Who built the cages?
Oh yeah,
Joe?
I did hear him say that. You know, and
I was just thinking about that would be like, but Trump put all those kids in cages.
right.
Yeah, but who built the cages?
And it's hard, you know. That's why, you know, it's hard for any career politician to argue with a Joe Jorgensen or Donald Trump because they have histories of voting and obstruct ways. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know, if you go to a Joe or a Hillary or a Bush, like these people that have been in politics have had to vote certain ways in order to keep their seats.
Right.
So when you get a non-career politician in there, they have a chance to win because people want something fresh.
I think one of the main reasons that Trump won is because he wasn't in politics.
Exactly, definitely. They wanted something fresh.
But now it's been 4 years.
And they like, now you in politics. Yeah. Now you are politician.
Now we know things.
Yeah, so now you are politician.
Yeah, you are.
And we need answers for where this wall at, man. Where the, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, they have built a bunch of walls.
Yeah, but it can be penetrated. And
you can walk through it.
Ways to get through the wall, but we will continue to build it.
Apparently,
hey, motherfucker, I don't want my money to keep going to no wall. So hey,
apparently you can just get a coyote to carry you across.
Yeah, like look.
Oh my gosh, did you see the tweet from the state representative from Georgia about, because Trump said something about coyotes bringing people over the border.
I did not.
Okay, well, that's what they call people that bring people across the border. They call them coyotes.
Right.
So like they transport people across the border. That's their job. You pay them $3,000 or whatever, and they get you across the border. You know what I mean? Like that's what they do.
Yeah.
So Trump said something about that, and he said the word coyotes. And this lady that's the state representative for the state of Georgia, did a tweet last night talking about how there's no way that a coyote could carry a full-grown person over could drag a person over. So she's been catching all kinds of hell today.
Stop yourself, woman.
And then what was the kid? I don't know if this one was real, but I saw something about the kid that was one of the survivors from one of the school shootings that became kind of famous. David Hogg, I think is his name. I don't know. He was
so many school shootings, man. It's hard to keep up.
It's hard to keep up. He said something about it too, about coyotes, and it was like, come on, man. Like, are y'all like?
Yeah.
I mean, I know this guy he's still pretty young, so like he might not have heard that kind of terminology yet, but like somebody was talking about how like he was talking to his kid about it, like his 10-year-old kid about the debate or whatever, and he used the term coyotes, and the kid was like, what are you talking about? Like, I know you're not talking about the animal.
Yeah.
Like the kid knew that that's not what the term meant and asked what the term meant.
Right.
Didn't just be like, coyote, huh? Like, coyotes don't do that.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
That's funny. But yeah, speaking of that debate, man, it really didn't change anything, you know, for me. I mean, I thought it was less entertaining than the first one.
It was.
I'm like, man, yeah,
I'll say that they acted more civil
they did
this time, so that was good. At least for the most part.
And I mean, yeah, and his play is just to go back to, we have the greatest, we have the best.
Ask anybody. We got the best, the greatest, the best words, all the best words.
But again, sticking Joe with the, you know, what have you done? He really played on him with you've been in politics for a long time, and you were the vice president for 8 years.
I think one of the things I don't like about Donald Trump, is and this I didn't watch as much of last night's debate because I
watched the whole thing.
I was actually on the phone like the whole time, and so I was watching the football game instead because I could watch that without sound.
Right.
I can't watch the debate.
No, you cannot.
So in the first debate, Joe Biden would say something to the effect of, you know, when I was in the White House with Obama or whatever, like when we were in office, we dropped the unemployment rate by 11%, or
The first lady did
whatever.
more than
Well,
Joe.
I'm just making this up. This is arbitrary. I don't know. I'm just saying these things. He would say something to that effect, like a thing that they did and a statistic to back it up, right? And then Trump would go, "We've done much better."
Yeah, that I agree.
And it's like,
I do not. He's not. Yeah,
you're gonna have to do better than that, Don.
he's not dropping any statistical facts.
It's like, no, we're doing great.
Like,
okay,
even in last night's
prove it to me.
Even in last night's debate, that was a moment that really hit me. Like, Donald needs to go.
Yeah.
When he was like, "Okay, you ready for it? We've got the best this, the best that," and I'm like, "Shit, I thought you was about to hit us with something colder than that." Donald, like, he said, "You ready for it? We've got the greatest." You know, it was something about.
We're doing better than North Korea.
Yeah, about
or whatever.
It was about the environment and global warming. He's like, "We've got the best, da da da," and I'm like, when you said, "Are you ready for it?" I was waiting on some spectacular statistics to come out of your mouth, and I'm like, man, he just said we got the greatest everything, and I'm like, damn, my education is like in the world right now.
He says things like, "I have leaders of other countries calling me all the time, telling me how great we're doing with the coronavirus and stuff," and it's like, that's not a statistic.
That's not
That's not a factual thing. That's not tangible. And that's you can't do anything with that.
And that's what I mean about diplomacy. He's not diplomatic. Like, cool. When he first came out that first year, I'm sure like people were with Obama, you know, and even throughout Obama's entire term, he was very diplomatic. I couldn't resist Obama. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Obama,
if I'm flicking the channels and Obama's on TV talking, I'm like,
that's what I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was
very charismatic, very well spoken, very not entertaining necessarily to listen to, but like mesmerizing.
Right, mesmerizing is a good word.
He almost hypnotized you into listening to him. Like, it was like that kind of voice.
He's not from the country. He has some voodoo magic.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't take that seriously. Look, people gonna be like, "Look, see."
Well, Ray said that Obama was from New Orleans and he does voodoo.
Joke. Yeah, it was a joke. Trump can't get away with jokes, so I can't.
And neither can Joe. Last night in the debate, Trump said something to the effect of, when I was listening, Trump said something to the effect of, "We're opening the schools back up, you know, blah, 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 blah. But there's not going to be a lot." Basically, he was saying, like, a lot of people aren't going to die. Right? Like, that's what he was basically saying. And then when they went to Joe, he said something. He said, and for all you teachers out there, don't worry. Most of you aren't going to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was mocking Donald Trump.
Right.
But as soon as it happened, like a few minutes later, my little brother texted me and he was like, "Did Joe Biden really just say this?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what he said, like verbatim what he said." Yeah. But he was listening to it on the radio, or like listening to commentary about it on the radio, and I was like, but he literally said it as like a mocking of Donald Trump.
Right.
It was not in a, "Don't worry, teachers, like only some of you are going to die." You know what I mean? Like, he was basically.
But people take it serious.
Yeah, but people are going to spin it the way they want to spin it.
And we giving Trump and Biden a lot of promo here. Like Mackenzie said, though, let's speak a little bit about Mama Joe.
Talk about Mama Joe. Did you know there's a third candidate and a fourth candidate? There's like a bunch of candidates.
What did you know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a bunch of candidates on there. People
you don't have to vote red or blue if you don't want
to. The elephant in the donkey in the
green or gold.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean,
who doesn't like gold?
Exactly. I'm trying to tell you, gold is where it's at. If you want to back your money, do it with gold.
It's true.
But yeah, I mean, I like, you know, obviously, out of all these other people on the ballot, which the Libertarian Party is the only ballot or the only party
states.
In all 50 states.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So everybody can vote, no matter where you live at.
Including you.
So, you know, and people say the Libertarian Party is much more a democratic platform. And I'm like,
you know, it's funny that you say that, because in the group of people that I'm friends with on Facebook, the Libertarian Party is more conservative.
Right. And I'm like, I don't think it's necessary because she talks about bringing the troops home.
Yep.
She talks about making America more of a Switzerland type country
Right.
where we're well armed, we defend our borders, but we don't have troops in all the 150 different countries.
The military should be for defense.
Right. You know, we've got troops,
not offense. Never offense.
and we on offense all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we live off of war.
It's actually called the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
But we on the
Department
offense.
of Defense. There is no Department of Offense.
No, we're on the
we don't have
offense
one.
all the time. And it's nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like always in somebody else's country, in somebody else's business. Again, like Nas said, the great New York rapper Nas, how you gonna fix other places when you ain't fixed home yet?
Yep.
And you know, she talks about bringing troops home, which both candidates talk about, hey, we're going to bring the troops home.
Right.
So what's wrong with that?
Right.
And that'll help cut some of the spending that we're doing because we got all these soldiers over here. And I get it. People say, well, when you bring all these soldiers home, what are they going to do? That's why we need to start. That's what Trump was trying to come with a plan and say, let's bring some of these jobs back to America.
Are we just shipping soldiers off
so
to
that
other countries so that they have jobs? Is that,
right.
That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So
if we bring them home and then there's nothing for them to do, we can stop recruiting, which makes our taxes go down because we don't have to pay for more military, which is good for everyone.
Right. And how many countries? And they say, well, we need these places, these soldiers in other countries to protect us from terrorists. I asked the question, how many terrorists actually want to bomb us if we're not over there
messing with them?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We created, as far as I could tell, we created organizations like Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda.
If they do,
you know, it's like
attack us, then we retaliate.
Right.
We defend ourselves.
We know how to get into these countries. Yeah. We've been there before.
We don't.
We know
just
the
hang
ins and
out.
outs. We have the intelligence. We have the drones. We have all this technology now. Why do we continue to have all these soldiers overseas doing all this patrol and all this?
You can push a button and blow up something in Afghanistan. You don't need soldiers there.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes no sense. So she's for stuff like that. Then you want to talk about taking away the income tax. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure any working American is like, hey, I'm with you.
I'd rather have my whole paycheck.
You know, I need all my money. I know how to spend my money those private jets Nancy Pelosi flying around in and all these other politicians. Yeah. You can fly commercial or business class.
Yeah.
What makes you
better? Buy your own ticket.
What makes you better than the people that are voting you into office? Please explain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
This money needs to come up out of politics. I like her policies on the decriminalization of drugs.
Yeah.
You know, we need to decriminalize drugs.
And to be fair, that's not a flip of a switch and then drugs are legal.
But that's
not how that's going to work.
But
that's what everybody wants to say.
But you also talking about taking responsibility off of the police officers' plate, which allows them to protect more victims that are being robbed, that are being assaulted, that are being killed, and actually police crimes that truly affect people outside of someone affecting themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then people are like, well, when people do drugs, they go out and commit crimes. When people drink alcohol, they get in car crashes.
Yep.
Has anyone outlawed alcohol since prohibition?
Nope.
So please spare me with that talk.
Here's an interesting thing I saw the other day. The very first story in the Bible after the creation story is the story of Eve biting the apple.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's like the first thing you learn in Sunday school. Even God couldn't stop things with prohibition.
Right.
They were prohibited from eating the fruit of the tree.
Right.
And that's the first thing that they did.
Right.
The only thing you're not allowed to do
is eat from this tree.
Is eat from the tree. Prohibition does not work.
No.
It's never worked.
No.
It's never going to work. That goes for guns, alcohol, drugs,
how does
the fruit from the tree. all of that. Prohibition doesn't work.
How does the song go? Who took the cookie out the cookie jar?
If prohibition did work, we wouldn't have a drug problem in America.
Exactly. Yeah. The war on drugs has been a false war since its inception.
Agreed.
There's no such thing, man. If you
Thank
want
you, Nancy Reagan.
The war on drugs should be to help people get help. You gotta understand what type of existence people live in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And adulting in this world and going to work, getting up and doing the same things every day, you know, not having the freedoms that you feel like should be your freedoms. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of restraints on you.
You know
and
what's
again,
interesting?
Joe talks about things like prostitution being legal, and a lot of people will say that's detestable. People should, if you talking about women should be able to do what they want with their bodies. If they want an abortion, they can get an abortion. Well, if they want a prostitute,
Yeah.
let them prostitute.
Agreed. Prostitution is consensual sex between two adults.
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people doing that anyway.
What's the problem?
Whether it's for the 40 or for the weed, the drink,
Right.
your
Dinner,
you're doing it anyway.
whatever it is.
You know what I'm saying? So
A place to stay.
why not get paid?
Yeah.
You know, so having that, again, it takes things off the police
You hear
officers.
that?
I heard that, Pop.
Crap.
It takes things off the police officers' table.
Yeah.
The police got a lot to do out here. And I just seen, you know, what Grant shared that my bro Grant, the San Francisco police say they're gonna stop sending officers out to behavioral calls.
Right.
You gotta stop.
They should. Yeah.
Look, man, police don't even get paid that much money for them to have all this on that plate. Why you think there's so much corruption?
Right.
Why you think they quit to take a deal somewhere and do something crooked? Not all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not even the majority of them. But you got groups and sections out there that's like, shit, I ain't getting paid enough to do all this. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like that happens in anything.
Yeah.
And they're not even getting paid enough to police everything that they get asked to police. Just like you feel that your job, when your manager like, hey, sweep the floor, do the sales, do this. And you like, shit, am I getting a raise?
Right.
I mean, like, you throwing on a lot more responsibility.
Right.
More responsibility.
With great power comes great responsibility.
responsibility.
With great responsibility should come more money. I guess.
More money. You got to take some things off the table.
This is something I want to talk about on a future episode, but I want to bring it up because you kind of mentioned.
Man, we passed 9 already. Low.
You kind of mentioned work and like how that affects people and makes them want to do drugs, right? Like, you kind of breezed through it real quick. Where like you think about people that spend like 8 hours a day in a cubicle,
they stress, man. I promise you, I go around people that
pop a
stressed,
Xanax or whatever, right? Like, and then that leads to other whatever, right?
Yeah.
So in those situations, it's not because they're addicted to drugs that they're going and taking those pills when they go. It's because they're bored out of their mind for 8 hours a day. There's no.
They're bored. Yeah,
there's no incentive for them to do anything at work. It's just stare at the computer screen for 8 hours.
Bro.
But here's an interesting thing. One of the guys that I listen to a lot, he's a business guy. I've talked to you about it before, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
He runs a business of like 1,000+ employees business, right? And they started a policy early on in his business where they had like an open door policy. Like, this is your job and we expect you to do it.
Right.
But if you need to take time off, you can.
Yeah.
If you want to go on a 2-week vacation in June, then as long as, like, let us know and you can do it. You know what I mean? As long as everybody doesn't go on vacation at the same time, obviously. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of things. And what they found was that people weren't taking the vacations because they were like almost scared to, because that's not how it's supposed to be. Right?
Yeah.
They thought it was like a trick. Like, if I take these vacations, they're going to fire me.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to see if I'll actually do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they actually made it mandatory now that you have to take vacations every however long.
And think about it, they do. Go ahead.
No, that's basically it. But that's
They do
basically
that because they know.
they've created a culture in that company.
They know.
Where people are happier.
Yes.
People
they know.
Don't go home and drink themselves stupid.
Yeah.
Like
because
it's a better environment.
They know it's a strain on people, which is why companies force you to take a break.
Right.
Walmart forces their employees, and Dollar General just started forces their employees to take a break.
Right.
You cannot say, I'm good, I don't want to break off.
Right. No, you have to.
Because they know.
Right.
It's a burnout situation, and I think we all dream. Everybody watching this show, we've all dreamed of doing something probably bigger than what we're doing right now. At some point. No, you know what I mean? Like just at some point. So sometimes when like the word says, you fall short of glory. We all fall short of glory. And when you're in a position in life that you didn't necessarily foresee yourself being in, especially if you come from a background or a family that didn't have a structured path. Like, oh, my daddy and mommy did this, I'm gonna do this. You know, if you didn't have a structured path, you know, you kind of dream and think you're gonna do something. Like, people get depressed, man.
Yeah,
I've experienced.
You wanna know why? Sitting in a cubicle for 8 hours is freaking depressing.
Yeah, screw you, man. and
what do you expect people to be?
Yeah, especially like, you know, athletes or people that thought they might be in, you know, athletics. And it's like you go around some people and they really, you know, people put on smiles, but people are really depressed out here. And like you said, I seen a guy today, man, fresh off of work. First thing he was doing was grabbing a beer, working for a reputable company. He said, I said, damn, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It was like 4 o'clock. I'm still at work. He's like, yeah, shit, I'm off. I ain't wasting no time. I'm getting started. I'm like, God, you know, like I enjoy my drink. But it's like, you know, you ain't even went to the house yet.
Right.
You ain't even changed out your work clothes yet.
Right.
And you ready to down some beers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. You know, like it's that type of situation.
And it's not necessarily in those cases the alcohol that's the problem.
No.
People want to attribute it to an alcoholism or something like that. But really,
they are trying
this person is trying to escape this life that they've been forced into.
Very much.
And don't get a break from.
Very much.
And the only break that they do get is when they drink a couple of beers and pass out.
And it puts you right to sleep. Like a baby.
Yeah.
You know, and you can wake up again and live the dream.
It's crazy wild.
It is what it is, man. We're a little bit past. I thought we had a great conversation.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in, chiming in. Greatly appreciate it. I hope y'all like the setup, man. Drop some late comments. Let us know. We gonna get us a grayscale banner.
Ray's gonna buy us a banner.
I will. You know, Tim can get it printed up. I'll go ahead and pay for that thing. I ain't no big roller or nothing like that shit. Credit is good. But
I'll pay for it $10 a month.
$10 a month. But no, we're gonna get us a little banner. Throw it up there. Got some merchandise coming here soon.
Working on merch.
It's not always black and white on the back, you know, because it's not a war between us human beings and individuals as people. Power to the people. You know what I'm saying? These money hungry ass politicians need to switch it up. It's power to the people.
Yeah.
So
I think we do get
things coming.
I
like the setup. I feel like
it
puts us closer together and shit. Brotherly love, you know. Chop it up.
Mackenzie, I think we will get over 5% of the popular vote this election. I think the Libertarian Party will get way more than 5%.
I agree.
I'm projecting closer to 10%, just from what I've seen personally of the people that I know that have changed their voting practices.
I agree.
Since the previous election.
I agree. And social media has changed the game.
I've seen a lot of people. 100% of the people on this screen right now are voting for the first time and are voting Libertarian.
Yeah.
As far as I know I am, and I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, I am. I will definitely tell you that I am voting Libertarian. If for no other reason, is to not support the two-party system.
I think there's something to do with, and I'm not sure exactly, but I think there's something to do with the way that the future election gets set up if your party gets a high percentage of votes.
It changes
There
the narrative.
is, I think maybe you can get more like, you might actually get debate time.
Yep.
I think you might automatically get put on the ballots and not have to fight for that like they did this time.
It plays its role.
I think you get to do some campaign, like you said, funded campaigns. I think
Yep.
you get to do your campaign funding differently. There's quite a few things I think that change if it's a decent percentage.
Could you imagine if Mackenzie? Could you imagine if everybody that told you that you were wasting your vote voting Libertarian actually voted Libertarian? What that would do to the shakeup of the two-party system?
Want to vote Libertarian but are scared to vote.
Do you know what that would do to the two-party system? If people say, how's it going to change? Well, we have a politician or a president right now that had no history of politics. So people say, well, Joe Jorgensen has no history of politics. Neither does Donald Trump.
Yep.
So, but the country is still running. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I think it's a huge deal and would make a huge difference if people actually voted Libertarian.
There are a lot of people that are this.
It would tell the starting quarterback, hey, your time is limited, bro. It's back up over here.
And I think that's one of the things. I'm gonna close on this. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand. I think a lot of people want to vote or rather align more with a third party, whether it's Libertarian Party, Green Party, whatever. But they don't want to vote that way because they want to vote for the winner.
Right. Water cooler talk.
People want to vote for the winner. But what long-term people, younger people, I'm going to consider myself young.
We're young, baby. Well, we're not that young.
I'm not that young, but I am. Dude,
we're young.
We're not 40 yet, and 40 is still young.
Age ain't nothing but a number, baby.
What long-term people that really want to see change in the country, what they realize is that this is going to take time.
Yep.
We're not trying to win this election. We're trying to win the 2032 election.
Right.
We're not going to win 2020 election, but we might win 3 or 4 down the road.
Right.
But we're not going to do that unless we start educating people and start moving the needle, right? Yeah, it's like college football recruiting. Once your team starts to play better and do better, you get better recruits.
Right.
More people come to watch. Right. People that weren't going to buy, students that wouldn't have gone to the football game start going. Right. That's what we're looking for. We're trying to disrupt a little bit.
Yeah.
This election's about disruption.
You can't create change without disruption. Yeah, that's disrupt. You can't create change without it.
That's right. So go check us out on YouTube. Check us out. Obviously, you're watching us on Facebook. You might be watching us on YouTube, actually. We're on Instagram. Both of our Instagram handles are on the screen if you want to follow us individually, or you can follow Grayscale Podcast on Instagram. I haven't been posting to that much, but I'm going to start more. Like we said, we got some merch coming up.
Yes, sir.
We're working on a Patreon if you want to support us as artists.
With some cool giveaways.
Really cool stuff that you're going to get monthly. If you sign up for that, that'll probably launch December or January, I would say. Probably January. I'd say a lot of this new stuff probably be New Year stuff.
Working out the kinks.
So, all that being said, I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm Ray.
And I'm Tim.
The Grayscale is going black.
It's going black. I'm going to have to reach up here and click the thing. We're going to have to get like a remote.